Hi there, I'm David.
And I'm Con, and welcome to another episode of Camera Peeps. David, what are we talking about on this episode?
Look, it's another update for me, a work in progress for me with my PMW F5 and the Fujinon MK series lenses. I have been shopping again, and I've bought the longer version, the 50 to 135, so I thought we'd just have a chat about that.
Right, so what do you like about these lenses? You've got two of them now, so why did you go down this path and not, say, a Cabrio or a Canon? Because a lot of guys I know are using the Canon PL camera.
There's a lot of reasons, and we reviewed this one a few months ago, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with, obviously, the big Cabrios, the PL ones. They're fantastic, but they are very expensive.
What, $30,000, $40,000 Aussie dollars?
Yeah.
Yep.
So look, that's a consideration, and of course weight, because they are approximately 2.9 kilograms. These are about 900 grams.
Right.
So
big difference when you're working all day on your shoulder.
Huge difference.
Now, we mentioned the price of the Cabrios, for example. What are these worth in Australian dollars?
Look,
roughly
5,000 or 6,000 Aussie dollars.
Wow, big difference.
Yeah, it's huge.
Big difference. Now, also, these are not native PL. What have you got there to see?
No. Well, once again, as we've discussed in another video, the Duclos or Duclo adapter. So you just unscrew the E-mount, because these are native E-mount.
Ah, right.
And then you put this FZ.
So people have got to be aware that if you buy these lenses to put on a PL mount or FZ mount, is that an FZ?
That's FZ.
Right.
So that actually saves a bit more weight again, because when you buy the F5, you get an FZ to PL adapter, and that weighs a few grams, so it's another thing stripped off the camera, to be honest.
Yep. Great. So now that you've got the longer lens, you've got a complete set of
That's great.
lenses?
Yeah, it's a very complete set, and I'm quite really happy with it. And another thing, not paying out on the Cine Servo Canon or the Cabrio, but the Cabrio only goes to 90mm, and the Canon is 120. Now, what I've found with this one, this sounds like the gag out of Spinal Tap, where the amplifier goes up to 11, but at 135mm, it actually is quite handy. It's better than handy for interviews where there's a journalist in the shot, in the scene as well. That, especially if they're talking about a sensitive subject or it's a multicam interview, that having that extra focal length allows you just to physically be back further. So
they can almost, the interviewer and interviewee can really forget you're there.
Correct. Because I've had the 90, the Cabrio one before, and I mean, you're really just almost on the edge of the reporter.
Is that the 19 to 90?
That's the one, yeah.
Yes, it's not quite long enough at the 90. I always find I have to pick up the camera and move in closer.
And once again, that is a beautiful lens, but in practical terms, this thing is just with having that extra bit of focal length, and then of course it doesn't. The Canon, the light drops off at the end as you zoom in.
Oh, that's right. After 90mm on the Canon zoom, you've got a drop off on the. It's not constant aperture throughout the full zoom range.
And this is.
Yeah, well, that's another benefit, and it's parfocal. Comparing it to, say, like a still lens, which is not parfocal, and parfocal means.
That basically means that you zoom in, focus, you adjust the zoom, and it remains in focus.
With
these guys. And the DSLR lenses. Look, to be honest, if I never had to use a DSLR lens again on a video camera, I'd be more than happy. The exception to that I have found is now these lenses have a macro setting.
Yep.
Which is
good to know.
It's good to know, but I have to be honest that this will be the one DSLR lens that comes out on a.
Which one is it? By
this
the way,
is the one. This is the 105 prime, a Nikon. I'm a Nikon guy, and the macro for extreme close-ups of food.
Oh, how close are we talking about? Like 5 centimeters?
I think that's that sort of distance. Yeah,
wow.
And these just aren't that close. But even I had a scenario the other day, even with these, and I make comparisons to E and G lenses as well. the macro on those lenses are also excellent. I mean, you can,
On which lenses?
on an ENG, for a 2/3 inch camera,
yeah.
and you can basically focus on the dust on the front element.
Wow.
But I had a scenario the other day where I was just getting shots of photos on a photo board in a hallway.
Yep.
And I actually couldn't get the camera back.
Oh, because of the minimum focus distance.
Correct, yes.
Do you know what it is? It must be 2.5.
Not off the top of my head. I was just, I just know it wasn't quite right.
Yeah.
And then I was sort of using the macro and the zoom to focus, all that kind of thing to sort of get it. But it was probably another case where the ENG cameras have more scope, to be honest.
Yeah, but they're $30,000, $40,000 lenses as well.
And we can see why they are. And they have.
You get what you pay for, but you know, even though these lenses are cheaper, the takeaway is that they're still as equal quality-wise to the more expensive lenses.
Look, I haven't had any complaints about it, and guys, camera people who have the other lenses, I mean, they admit that there's actually, you know, there's nothing, you know, for the rates that we go out at, and there's actually nothing wrong with these. The one disadvantage, I guess, it doesn't have a servo.
Yep. If you like having servos on your tripod or on your shoulder. Yep.
But there are two aftermarket ones now. One's a Hedon and one's a Crozier.
Okay.
I'm not sort of sure what money.
But they're not really for hand grippy style servo. They're on your tripod
pretty much.
servo.
And I don't know how good they really. I haven't used one, but like coming from a broadcast background, the servos on a broadcast lens are just incredible, you know. So
I guess what you're saying is there's slight compromises, but for the price, they're worth it.
There's a slight compromise, but you know, we're not working on film budgets. You know, like this sort of level. You know, where everything still needs to happen fairly quickly and efficiently. We don't have camera assistants. We don't have people carrying around a Pelican case full of prime lenses. You know, it's just us, and I find that they're totally fine. And certainly, you know, because of the weight factor, you know, like I'm not so inclined to use an easy rig. I don't think it's quite necessary anymore. And as I've mentioned in one of the other videos, you know, you can get them once the radio mics, the sound recorders put their radio mics on, you put the 150 watt hour V-Lock battery on the back, you can get it quite neutral. And if you do end up in a long handheld interview, it's not as painful.
And tiring,
and then sometimes the director might say, and we want our B-roll handheld as well.
Oh my goodness.
And so if you're trying to get you know, names on, you know, doors or whatever, you know, it's much easier to do a more sort of fluid handheld.
And much easier to operate a proper lens like that than a stills lens, isn't it? Especially the path focus, you're constantly having to focus every time you change the zoom.
Yeah, and from an OH&S point of view, less neck pain, less back pain, I mean, that has to be a consideration these days. So
to summarise your main pros and cons about the lens?
Well, probably more pros. I mean, I think that, you know, the build quality of the Canon and the Fujinon Cabrio is better. I mean, I think that a PL actually stands for positive lock, I think.
And Arri invented that system. And now they invented another system, which is the PL... the large format LF, a PL LF.
I mean, and I would say that if you threw a camera off a skyscraper with a PL lens, it would hit the ground and smash, and I believe that PL mount would still be connected to the image sensor. It's that good. There's no doubt about that. But once again, for the environments that we work in, you know, TV, corporate videos, you know, these are really good. And of course, I'd love a lens where that contained all, you know, this full range of focal lengths. It's not going to happen.
The Super 35 is very hard to do.
And I accept that. So in which case, if that's a deal breaker, then do the job on a 2/3 inch.
Yeah, they still have a place, as we keep saying.
Yeah,
we both still have our 2/3 inch cameras and lenses.
Probably just a thing with Duclos, their back caps. It's funny, on one of them, they don't actually lock on very well.
So it can easily come
off. And the problem with that is then the dust, especially in your soft bag, that the dust can actually get in there. So that's another issue. That one's really loose. This one actually does have a lining in it. So this must be the newer model. They must have gone to it. It actually does. It does stay on and not.
Right. Some people might have also complained about that.
So that's probably it. But look, overall, I'm very happy with it, and certainly for the price. The comfort factor, you know, if you do have a long handheld day, on the F5, there's it's no contest with the other one, and I don't enjoy working with easy rigs.
Yeah, they're a little restrictive.
Yeah, walking through doorways and things.
Oh, yeah, and then when you take the camera off and the thing swings,
yeah, all those
and
sort of
hits
things.
Yeah.
So I mean, look, if you were having a really, really long hand, you probably would still need it, but just to remind everyone, that's 2 kilograms less than
the Cabrio,
the other ones. Yeah. So look, I've decided just to go with these. I live very close by to a rental house. And if I need those or the 300mm version, I think I will just hire that when I need it.
But these do the job for you, and they haven't cost you an arm and a leg.
No.
And as you say, with the budgets that we have these days and the rates as they are, the less you need to spend on gear, the better to recoup return on investment. That's important, because return on investment on gear we buy these days has got to be a lot quicker, because the technology keeps changing so much.
Exactly. Well, there is already another lens mount out with the ARRI. What is it?
The LF, large format.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go. So there's my.
Great. They really are an option to use on the F5, F55 cameras.
Yeah, well, I look forward to comments, feedback from anyone else if they're in a similar situation, or if they are just sticking to the PL mount lenses. That's totally fine, but it's just a different perspective for me anyhow.
Great. Well, thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Camera Peeps. And David, we'll catch everyone on the next one.
Indeed.